Hey, what's up, guys? I figured I would make another video. I got a request actually to do kind of a review and kind of just talk about the MA Performance intake as well as their Stage 1 Plus intake tune. So I figured, I was going to do this anyway. I wanted to put a lot of miles on the car with this intake and the tune to see if I really liked it and the characteristics of it and everything. And just kind of get a good amount of seat time in the car with the mod, just to see if I really like it. I don't want to just put it on and say, oh, it's great, and then end up not being as great as I initially thought. So I've had it on the car for probably should look up how many miles, but it's probably been about 2,000 miles or so. I initially, in my review video, the mod walk around, I guess you could call it, I kind of did a quick review on it, or at least kind of went through the motions that I went through in terms of tuning and all that. So I'll kind of just reiterate that now kind of quickly. So for anybody that didn't see that video can, kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Obviously I got the car, had the stock tune, that's kind of a no-brainer. But I was looking for something a little bit more. The stock tune was, or the stock map, if you want to call it, whatever. It's a little, I know it's kind of hesitant, it's jerky in the lower RPMs. And, it's just not as enjoyable to drive. It's pretty quick, but there's definitely room for improvement. So I kind of, took the initial step of getting the Cobb access port, like many WRX and STI guys. It's kind of like a go-to kind of thing. So I got the Cobb access port, and I just, I initially just loaded the Cobb Stage 1 on the car, just to kind of see what it would do and what I thought. I kind of wanted to get an idea before I started, really, not really tuning the car, but, seeing the difference between the different tunes that are out there. So after the Cobb, I found MA Performance, a lot of good reviews and people recommending them. So I decided to go with their Stage 1 tune. It was, it's very simple. All you do is you get the file, you buy the map that you need, you get the file sent to you, and you load it on your access port, and then you load it to the car. Really simple. I had no issues. One of the first things that I noticed when I went for a drive with that map is how much more responsive the car was. It just seemed a lot more smooth. I guess the kick in your pants, in other words, when the turbo kind of kicks in, it felt more, I guess, stronger. The car just felt quicker. There's no doubt about it. It felt like the car was running a lot better. So I really enjoyed that. I really had no intentions of going farther than that. So after that, I really, didn't really have any plans to do anything else to it. So I kind of decided, I was just like, hey, I'll stick with their Stage 1 tune for a while. And then, if I ever want to go Stage 2 or something, I would think about, down the road. But they actually have a Stage 1 Plus tune, which is basically their intake. So it's, you get the tune and plus the intake. My WRX, I actually had a very similar, tuning aspect of the car. I went with the Cobb Stage 1, then I went to Torque Performance, and then I went to their Torque Performance Stage 1 Plus. I think it was called, I forget what that was called, but it's basically same thing. It was their Stage 1 Plus map with, I had the Cobb SF intake on the car. So it was same concept, a tune with an intake. So I thought I would give it a shot. I hit up the guys at MA Performance. I decided to go with the raw finish. Now that I got it, I kind of wish I went with either, they come in that red or the black wrinkled finish. It would have been kind of cool to have the red to kind of match, but whatever, it's not a big deal. My only thing that I'm wondering is if the finish on those kind of help with any heat dissipation. You know, because obviously this is just raw metal, so it does get hot. But when you're driving for a long extended period of time, and then you go and park the car, it's actually pretty cool to the touch. I mean, I parked the car a few hours ago, so it's not warm. But you know, if you're doing around town driving and everything, it gets pretty hot. I did notice that the intake temps they go down a little bit quicker, and they actually stay cooler for a lot longer, which is always a good thing. But as for the tune, the first thing I noticed, I went out for a drive after I installed it. I was shocked about how much quicker the car felt. It really just felt faster. And a lot of that has to do with not obviously the intake, but it has to do with the map, the tune. I believe, well, I know that the boost was kind of bumped up a little bit. I think the max boost on this is it's around very low 20s, 20 point, you know, not over 21, under 21. It's like 20. I think the highest I ever hit was 20.8, which was one and only time. Once in a while I hit 20.5, but I would say about 95% of the time I'm hitting high 19s, 19.8, 19.7, something like that. Which is pretty good because that's kind of where I wanted to be. I really don't want to be over 20, just because I've, you know, stories I've read and everything. 20 is kind of the limit before going, you know, you don't want to blow up your motor, but before going anything crazy. So I kind of just want to keep it simple. So I was really happy with that. Another great thing about it is the sound. It really amplifies the turbo sound and the induction intake sound, obviously. It has a lot of, you just hear like a gasp of air just being sucked in through the intake, and then when you release, it kind of has like a whooshing sound. It sounds really cool. You know, that's kind of what the part of the fun is about turbo cars. You know, it's about the sounds and the experience. It's very dramatic, and it just sounds really cool, and I really like it. The only bad thing about it, I guess, is my my miles per gallon has decreased, at least when I first installed it, because I was always getting on it trying to hear it. I still am. I still love it, so I'm definitely you know, trying to hear it all the time. I've only had, I wouldn't say these are issues, but I had two things come up since I've installed this intake. One of them was it was about a couple months ago. I was getting onto a highway. I was kind of driving spiritedly, and all of a sudden I got a fuel cut, you know, engine light and everything. So I was, you know, kind of got nervous, whatever. Pulled over, read the code. It said I exceeded the boost limit, which was very strange because the boost max limit that it was showing wasn't even over 20. I had no knock or anything like that, so I was assuming it was just kind of a strange glitch, something weird. It's never happened again. I've, you know, got on the car and it doesn't even come close. So I don't know, maybe that was just a one only time thing. But if I do get that code again or something like that happens, I'll be sure to update you guys. But nothing like that has happened again. The only other thing that has happened is maybe a couple weeks ago, I got a P000D code, which is a cam. It was the cam exhaust left side sensor saying it was slow or something like that. I looked it up. I talked with the guys at MA Performance. They said it's not really a big deal. You know, just one of the recommendations. One of the guys I was speaking with, his name is Adam. What he said to do is actually warm up the car, you know, drive it like normal, make sure the car and engine and everything is warm, reload the map, turn off the car, and then turn it back on and let it idle for a minute. And, you know, don't do anything in that minute. And basically what that does is loading the tune up to the car while the engine is warm. The ECU is able to learn what the temperatures are at operating temps and everything like that. So it allows all the sensors and the control valves and all that stuff that it could be affecting is kind of reading at the operating temperature. Since then, I haven't had a problem. So, you know, like I said, it could have just been a glitch. Could have been something that happened. But obviously, I'll keep an eye on it. And if it does pop up again, I'll be sure to update you guys. You know, there's nothing abnormal. The car is running 100%, no problems, nothing like that. You know, no strange bucking or weird noises or anything like that. And, you know, the car is just, there's no knock. The dam is at 1. Everything is totally fine. It's just, I've been really happy with it. You know, obviously if something does happen in the future and that code comes up more often, you know, maybe I'll think about taking it off and just going to the stage 1. But like I said, for now, I'm really pleased with the intake, just the sound of the car and everything. You know, I was trying to think of how to get some sound, some audio of the intake, you know, while I'm driving. I do have a microphone that I could probably hook up and put under the motor. I don't know how it would sound because it's a pretty loud motor to begin with. But maybe if I put like a mic in here or something and close the hood and do some driving, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my feedback on it. Like I said, I've been really happy with it. It looks pretty cool. The detail on it is really nice. Everything fits perfectly. There's no, you know, you can see around the headlight plug, everything fits great. It's just a really nice intake. You know, when you actually have it out of the car and holding the piece, it's a really high quality, you know, it's really high quality. It's really nice. The welds on it are really great. Just looks really cool. The filter is green, not that it really matters. I can't really see it down there, but yeah, so if you guys have any questions about it, you know, be sure to let me know. I'll be try to answer all the questions you may have. I definitely recommend it if you're interested in getting some type of intake. Like I said, I've had the Cobb SF intake before. That was on my WRX. That was the previous generation of GR. So it is a little different, but this one's a true cold air since it goes all the way down. The SF is a short ram, so it's kind of in the engine bay. It's a little different, but same concept. Sounds cool. But yeah, that's about it for the MA Performance intake and tune. If you guys have any questions on the actual intake, be sure to let me know. I try to get some driving clips, sound clips of the intake. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but if I do happen to get any, I'll be sure to put it at the end of this video. All right, guys, catch you in the next one.